In this lesson, we're going to provide a quick review of cloud expenditures and the concepts surrounding virtual machine instance types, licensing, chargebacks and tagging, maintenance, and reporting. Now, we first need to cover virtual machine instance types, including spot and reserved instances. Now, spot instances are a type of virtual machine instance that is available at a discounted price, but they can be terminated at any time whenever the cloud provider needs the underlying resources for other customers. Reserved instances, on the other hand, are a type of virtual machine instance that is purchased for a longer period of time, such as a 1-year or 3-year contract. Now, organizations that purchase reserved instances can save money on their cloud computing costs, but they are locked into that instance for the duration of the reservation, which, as I said, is either 1 or 3 years in most cases. Basically, reserved instances provide cost savings and stability, while spot instances offer lower cost and more flexibility. Next, we discuss licensing in the cloud, including the types and quantities that you're going to need. We discuss things like pay-as-you-go licensing, bring your own license, volume licensing, perpetual licensing, and open source licensing that you could use with your different virtual machines in the cloud. Now, when you're using pay-as-you-go licenses, your cloud provider is going to give your organization the necessary licenses for you to run your applications and services on the cloud provider's hardware, and then you're simply going to be billed for the usage of that license. The Bring Your Own License option is going to allow your organization to use its existing licenses with the cloud provider's hardware. Volume licensing is a pricing model that allows organizations to purchase a large number of licenses for their cloud-based services. This includes things like software as a service applications or infrastructure as a service offerings, but you're able to buy these at a discounted rate because you're buying them in bulk. Perpetual licensing refers to a traditional software licensing model where a customer is going to pay a one-time fee for the perpetual right to use that software product. You'll also hear these called a lifetime deal because they are valid for the life of the product or the life of that company. Now, open source software is a type of software that's released with a license that allows your users to view, modify, and distribute the source code itself. This means that any user can access and modify the underlying code that runs on these cloud-based servers and services, and then they can use that to build and deploy their own custom solutions too. Next, we discuss chargebacks and tagging and how they're used in cloud computing. Now, chargebacks are a method of allocating cloud computing costs to specific departments or projects within an organization. This allows the organization to recover the cost of their cloud computing resources from the specific department that actually uses them rather than relying on a centralized information technology budget. Tagging, on the other hand, is going to allow your organization to assign metadata to their cloud resources, such as things like virtual machines, storage, and data transfer. And this can then be used to categorize and track the cost of each of those resources. After that, we discuss maintenance in the cloud, and specifically who is responsible for the costs associated with all the different pieces of maintenance that are going to be performed. Maintenance is an essential aspect of cloud computing, and it refers to the ongoing efforts to keep the cloud infrastructure, software, and hardware up to date, secure, and running smoothly. In cloud computing, maintenance encompasses a wide range of activities, including firmware updates, software updates, security hotfixes, hardware upgrades, and hardware troubleshooting and replacement. Now, this goes hand in hand with one of the reasons that organizations move to the cloud in the first place, and that is to offload the capital expenditures of buying the hardware as well as supporting and maintaining that hardware. And you can do this by offloading that responsibility to your cloud service provider underneath a cloud shared responsibility model. Finally, we covered reporting. Reporting in cloud computing refers to the process of monitoring and analyzing the usage and performance of cloud services, including things like compute, network, and storage services. Now, compute services in the cloud refers to the processing power and memory resources that are being provided by the cloud service provider. Network services are going to refer to the communication channels and protocols that are used to support the transmission of data between different cloud services and between users and cloud services. And storage services in the cloud refers to the storage capacity and storage media that are providing all that storage from the cloud service provider to you and your organization. So remember, cloud expenditures can quickly add up if you're not careful. Therefore, it's really important that you understand exactly what you're using and you're constantly monitoring your cloud utilization and the costs associated with it to ensure you're not overextending yourself or your organization during your migration into the cloud.